Okay, guys, we're streaming.
She did the last time when she was laid off, and she clicked it on Vernon.
Joe, can you hear me okay? Joe? Good? Mike, good? Is that better, Joe? Make the go any higher.
Try it now.
Yes, Joe.
Joe, is that better?
It's better.
Okay.
Hear me?
Gentlemen, ready? All right, we'll reconvene at about 8 after. All rise for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Open meetings law complaint.
Mr. Chairman, the agenda was posted inside and outside the Vernon Town Hall to the media, to businesses within the Town of Vernon, the Town of Vernon website. You're in full compliance with the open meetings law.
Roll call.
Chairman Thomas Byrd.
Present.
Supervisor Jeff Millies.
Present.
Supervisor Gary Wildy.
Present.
Supervisor Ed Moline.
Present.
Supervisor Bill Craig.
Present.
Mr. Chairman, note for the record that you do have a quorum of your town board.
I just want to let the audience know, if they tuned in, that we were out at the Martin Street subdivision, and we convened there at 5:30. We were on fact-finding and an inspection of the site, and now we reconvene back here. All right. Public comments. Are there any public comments? Any public comments? I see there's some public here. Thank you for all coming. Item 7, miscellaneous matters. Following matters will be discussed and possible action taken by the town board unless otherwise noted. Okay. Are the people that are here for the bartender's license, are they here?
They're not required to come, Tom. There was
Okay,
nothing.
they didn't, okay, so I just wanted to know.
But Jesse and Jamie are here for Ron Rogan's sign.
Okay. I'd like to deviate from the agenda to get the Ron Rogan sign out of the way, because I think from Martin Street, the people will want to comment or at least talk or hear the discussion, so that might be lengthy. So we'll take that and get that out. All right, we're going to go to item B first. Donation or remembrance of Ron Rogan and Heather Ridge Park.
I have it here.
Okay.
So this is drawn up by my dad's good friends. He actually worked for a Poblocki Sign Company. So they actually put it together. It's got his lovely picture there. And then the Lions Club emblem in the middle, because he was a member for I don't even know how many years, many years. And then that would be mounted to the fence post, as you guys told us. For a field, yes, yep.
Mr. Chairman, Jamie indicated that Poblaki Sign would happy to put up the sign, and/or DPW Director John Henneberry said they'd also be happy to put it up. So installation is not an issue.
Personally, I like to leave it to John.
And that's fine with us. Yeah, totally fine with us.
Probably fine with the blocking.
Yeah, they'd probably be just thrilled. And anything you guys, any notes or changes is totally fine with us. It's just a mock-up.
I think it's a great service.
Yeah, I got a picture. Any comments from the supervisors?
What's it made out of?
It says on the second page, I think aluminum.
Okay.
Shows dimensions and all.
Yeah, it's 4 feet by 2.5.
Where do you want to place this?
In Heather Ridge Park on one of the ball diamonds, up high so there's not any vandalism.
Oh,
fence.
careful, okay.
Yeah.
On the fence.
Yep. And if you guys want wording changed or, the picture up or anything, let me know. That's completely fine. Thank you.
And they have signed the acknowledgement form already.
Okay.
And the saying on the bottom, I know it's a little different, the keep on rocking in the free world, it's just something that he always said, so it was just kind of something sweet, that we thought we'd include.
That matches his attitude.
Right, exactly.
By saying the acknowledgement, you mean in the donation policy?
Yes.
That if something happens to the sign or anything, it can be removed without notification?
Yeah, it says it right in the bottom.
Could you read that into the record, please, Madam Clerk?
It states, there shall be no contractual rights associated with any recognition, sign, or display. Any donation, recognition, sign, or display shall be deemed to the town's voluntary revocable recognition of donation. The only thing I would ask Mr. Chairman and Town Board is if there would be some vandalism to the sign,
Yeah.
could we give the Rogan family an opportunity to have Poblaki sign? Hopefully that'll never happen.
Right, but it is a partner.
Or if it starts to fade.
Right.
I'm sure it won't because Poblaki does good work.
Exactly. To replace it with what you're.
Yeah, so it looks
No, I
nice.
have no problem with that.
Okay.
I don't, you need a motion on that, or just fine?
Well, you'd have to make a motion to accept the donation with the understanding that there is the contractual disclaimer. Signed by the donor, which is already done.
Did you make that motion then?
If everybody's ready,
Yeah.
I'll make that motion, Karen, just like you said it.
I'll second it.
Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much. We'll be in contact, I'm sure.
Let me know. We'll have a big party. Thanks, Jamie. Say hi to your mama. Bye, Jess.
All right, what else we got here? Fire patrol, officers transfer, parks and recreation, turn up here. No appointments. Okay, item A, complaints regarding Martin Drive. All right. We were out there and there are issues in area, and I wrote some things down here, fellas. There's ditching on both sides of the road, meaning on the east-west road and the north-south road. There's culvert issues, and there are blocked culvert issues. Did anybody see anything else? Bill, did you see anything else?
Well, what I see is an elevation problem for sure. Looking at the topo map, unless something I don't know what the date was on the topo map we've got, but everything is pretty much dead flat except the lot we were standing on at the corner. So, I don't know, it's kind of a fish pan effect. And then visually coming, that would be going east from Martin. The elevation appears to drop, even though this shows 830, the elevation is not flat. So all the way from Martin down to Martin, there's a gradual downward slope the way it looks.
Well, what we're gonna have to do, okay, I wrote that in here. We're gonna need elevations on the road and the existing ditches.
All the way to 164 where those
Yeah.
catch basins are.
Yep. And all, where do we want them here? We want them on Meredith, and we want them on Martin Street, and we should probably look at King Street. We should look at that whole area up there, as long as we're doing elevations on. King Street is the one, north-south street that's farthest, to the east. Okay. Then, we should also have ditch elevations, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Along with the existing culverts in those driveways.
Yeah.
Can't make the ditches deeper if the
Well, elevations, we were gonna know what the pitch is, to see if we got a run or not.
Okay. So we need elevations on all the roads. We need ditch elevations and then culvert elevations on those, in those ditches. All right.
Yeah, I think if we lower the ditch a foot and the culvert's a foot higher.
Yeah.
Is it possible that there is a culvert crossing,
We'll find out when we can do some digging in
yeah,
there.
because that road is depressed.
Explore that.
If there is a culvert there, it was covered up a long time ago.
Yeah, it's like the other one that crosses,
I think that, but if there is a culvert there, we have it covered up, it's actually helping the situation, and would make it worse if it was working.
Something more.
What is the, I mean, because there's 3 driveways there that don't have a culvert, 2 for the one property and the one farther to the north.
Yeah.
Usually the homeowner is responsible for putting culverts in when they do their driveways. Would that still hold true if we put culverts in there?
and the town doesn't pay for a
Yeah,
culvert.
so that's be the homeowner's responsibility.
I'm sure we can work some out, we put them on their tax bill or this or whatever, you know, that's, first we gotta find out what we need first. And we need to get them sized right for a water flow. Before we,
Well, you know, they go through all the work and all of a sudden get down to the last house because I'm not doing anything.
we've got the right of way,
Yeah, so
whether,
put it on the tax bill and,
you know, it's not like we're gonna just tear this up to tear this up. We've been requested by citizens that we've got a water problem and we need to take a look at it. And if this becomes part of the solution, if we control the ditch, our ordinances say we control the ditches, so we have the right to ditch that. But we, you know, and agreed, we don't, there's gonna be some probably unhappy people with the ditch work that's done, because the ditch work is gonna be lower than what they've got there now. It's gonna be harder to cut, and I don't know, you know, but that's what we gotta decide. We gotta look at it, and that's what we're doing now. Now, I've got a question for the citizens out here. Is there a spokesman for the group?
Kind of our
Sure.
yard,
Can you
so-
come on up and state your name and
So kind of our yard's the one that really gets
Yeah.
the worst of the flooding.
Is there somebody who does my makeup before we come out?
I will come out of the back, I'll.
So, my name is Ron, Grosskreitz, South 84 West 22885 Martin Street, and that was the corner house that you guys were at this afternoon.
So, there, well, like I was saying before, there's, you know, some of those driveways don't have culverts. Some of the ditching needs to be done. It's nice and flat now, but to get the water to go out, there's gonna be some,
digging.
and some people are gonna be upset, but you have to understand, we're not doing it just to do it. It's been a request. We've got a lot of complaints, we've got pictures, and we need to do what we can do. Okay. I'm gonna read into the record here what our attorney said. Every meeting, we have a sheet here on each item that gives our town attorney's opinion and/or state statute. And I'm gonna read this into the record. It said, "It is my understanding," now that would be Mr. Macy's understanding, "that the town is in the preliminary stages gathering information." And then this is a reminder to the town board. Be reminded that the town board needs to proceed cautiously. Unfortunately, many drainage problems are not municipal problems, are caused by the property owners, and the laws do not allow the town to get involved. Now, what he's talking about is on private property. Okay. If the town does decide that it has some responsibilities, when the town will need to decide whether the cost should be paid by all the taxpayers or the representative property owners. Proper procedures need to be followed if you are wanting to charge the respective property owners. Okay. So what that says, if we need to do ditching, if we need to do culverts, the people that own those properties, we're gonna have to figure something out.
How much of the ditch do you own? From my understanding, I thought it was 30 feet
From
from
the
the center line. of the
center
road.
line of the road, 30 feet. That's a
Okay.
66-foot right away there. Now,
So you're
that's
saying
what
if
it
the
shows
ditching
on
gets farther-
paper. That's what it shows on paper.
Okay,
Now, we have to research that and make sure that's what the town does. That's why I say we're still in a discovery
Sure.
stage. Because we don't wanna go tearing up anybody's more yard than we need to, believe me. I don't wanna do this because I don't really wanna get the phone calls. But I know I will, but
well, I think you're
that's
going, I mean,
fine.
obviously the right direction. You need to shoot the elevations and all that before
Right.
you start digging. Don't start digging before you know what.
No,
what the
no,
plan
well,
is.
we can't anyways because it's too wet. This has to be done in a drier part of the year, okay, the ditch work. I mean, you go now, John is just pulling his hair out because we've got some ditch work that needs to be done on Evergreen where we're gonna be paving this year, and he likes to get all that ditch work done before, but it needs to dry out some, otherwise it just becomes a total mess. So, hopefully we're gonna get a break here but we need to still keep figuring out what we're gonna
Sure,
do.
but as of now, what you're saying is, from what you think, it's 30 feet from the center line of the road is the town's responsibility. So if you have to dig farther into, say, our property or one of the neighbors' properties, that's when we would get charged for it. Well, it's just a question. When you were stating that it might be a cost occurred to us.
We do have
Well, there's
some
not
money.
a culvert there now for the driveway.
There is a culvert.
Well, not for everybody. Not
Yeah.
for everybody.
You know, then that would be the expense of the homeowner, cost of the
So
culvert.
here's a question for, we have a culvert, other people in the neighborhood do not. If you're going through and ditching through that point anyway, would you charge that person for the ditch
If
digging?
we need to dig that culvert up and lower it,
Well, say one of the
Which-
neighbors doesn't even have a culvert in their driveway now since
Well, let
you're
me ask
ditching
your-
through.
let me answer your first question.
Sure.
If we need, and we determine that the ditch needs to be lowered, we have to dig that culvert up to be in line with the ditch. we have to see what shape that culvert is. If those are older culverts, there won't be,
So the homeowner would be liable for the culvert itself, not for the ditching, is kind of what I'm asking. Since you have to dig through there to ditch through anyway, and I'm not using myself as an
we
example.
put
'Cause-
money in the budget for ditching every year,
Okay,
for certain aspects of it.
so not
If
speaking.
we do run
for-
into certain issues with ditching.
The
Sure, but-
culvert pipe
Culvert
per,
pipes.
per se.
So what I'm asking though, just say it was my yard that didn't have a culvert under the driveway. So you have to re-ditch through that anyway. Do you charge the homeowner for the ditching across the driveway?
No.
You do not. So the homeowner then is only responsible for the pipe itself, basically. I guess is my question.
I don't know about that, I
think
can't,
we
I'm
better
not
hold
gonna
off on
answer
some of
that
those today.
off the cuff
Well, it's a
because
question, and I know we're in a.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, we need to review that.
We need to review that, that's why we have to,
Mhm.
Get a feel for everything.
Sure.
I know what I'd like to tell you.
All that and
you know, and hey, you
Would
know,
you
we're
like to
gonna,
tell me what's gonna
and
happen? or
what,
probably
but
do
what's
this?
gonna happen and what we finally decide, something's gonna be done on
That was part
it.
of the problem.
We know there's issues and there's
Okay.
problems.
Wasn't that part of the problem? That is not a platted subdivision. That
Yeah.
every house in there got put in there
And that's what
by
makes
the
it,
property owner.
yeah,
If you had a platted subdivision like Parkwood Trail is over that was a plat.
Okay.
That was all planned out. Everybody had to do, put a ditch culvert in. Your subdivision doesn't have that. You know, there were no rules when those houses were built.
Okay.
It predates zoning even.
Predates the
practically.
zoning thing, but nonetheless, there's still an issue.
Yeah.
And it's a responsibility of the town for the.
That's where
ditching.
part of the problem comes in, otherwise you would have ditches and culverts there now, but
Sure.
some of the people didn't put culverts in because they feel they didn't need it.
and that's,
So in a later meeting, you would have an answer like that. I'll just use
Financial
myself,
answer.
financial, I'll use myself for an example in ours, which we do have a culvert. If it's too high, or the pipe is shot, or it's gotta get bigger, since you're coming through and ditching anyway, I would assume then, I shouldn't say assume, I would think that ditching part would be the town of Vernon's responsibility. It would be my responsibility to put said, proper size pipe down and probably repair my driveway, I would guess would be
to repair your
my
driveway
liability.
would be your cost too, if you have an asphalt driveway. Gravel driveway, we're gonna put a gravel
You
base
put
in
gravel
there
over
and
the
set
top,
that
so the
over
homeowner
top.
might just be liable for the cost of the pipe itself.
The cost of the pipe, because the taxpayers don't pay for anybody's culvert.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
And the repair of your asphalt driveway
I would assume is not
is
the town's
not the
liability.
town's cost.
Correct, I would assume.
Ditching,
Yeah.
You know, since you're ditching through and you get to the driveway, you have to dig that anyway.
Right.
I would assume that
Right.
would be the town's liability, the
Because
property
we're-
owner's liability would be to lay the pipe and repair the asphalt. if they had
right, but
asphalt.
that's gonna be down the road. We need to figure out
Mhm.
what needs to be done first. And we got, I know in my mind, I got a pretty good idea, but we gotta see if what it all comes together. We may have to get, some of those culverts sized, and we may have to go to our town engineer for that if John can't do it or doesn't feel comfortable doing it.
Mhm.
So there's gonna be an added expense there. So.
When you say
it's-
added expense, at whose expense?
That's to be determined.
Okay, all right.
still a lot of unknowns.
Well, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a question.
Yeah, it's
I
just
mean,
a
and
question.
if I have it, I bet you they have it back there too.
Mm-hmm.
I would think somewhere's in your statutes, there's a minimum, maximum pipe size. It's gotta be in there somewhere. I don't think that's a huge engineering issue.
Well, the people that live up on King Street, I took a ride up there, that cul-de-sac and the two cul-de-sacs seem to be the high point. And everything on those yards on King Street, all pitched to the road, and they all have culverts. I don't know if there's gonna be any problems up there. We know on King Street itself that there's a culvert that goes under there, that needs to be checked, and that one is blocked.
That one's flat, correct.
So, it's Martin Street and Meredith are what concerns us.
Martin and Meredith, and then the ditch that goes east to west from King Street. that's plugged on one side also is what you're also talking about. Because the people on King Street on the east side, their water as it runs probably to the north, and then it's supposed to come west underneath King Street.
Right, that's what I
Yeah,
said, King
yeah.
Street culvert.
King Street, okay, I thought you said Meredith and Martin. Yep.
So, we know we're gonna look at ditching, we need culverts. There's a block culvert, we need road elevations, ditch elevations, and culvert sizes. And we need to find out that pipe size down at the end at 164 and Meredith.
If you go up Meredith, at the very start of Meredith up there, they got culverts in there that I didn't think they made them that small. The diameter it's only 4 inches or 5 inches, they're really small diameter. And I don't see how those are effective at all. But
I would think, like you said, in your code book is gonna be
that's-
standard.
these
things.
are small.
It usually says based on town engineer recommendations.
Yeah.
So it's-
Right.
The engineer.
So just, you're kind of thinking now, and I know you don't have this answer, that the basic water shed, the conveyance of the storm water is ultimately gonna try to get out to 164 where there's the 2 sewers, or actually there's sewers on all the sides there. Where that water goes, I don't know what, doesn't really care at that point.
Well, there's a, coming out of the Blue Heron and coming down that hill, there's a ditch
Yep.
that goes under. And it goes across, you can see,
Yeah,
there's
to
a
the
little
pond,
bridge
and that
there, and
actually
it
gets all
goes
the
into
way
that pond area or low area, or.
Yep, and that actually ends up in the Fox River if you follow
Right.
it out.
So ultimately, I would think that that's where those 2 drain to. So, we've got some work to do yet.
Even if we got all the ditches working properly, even though your property is the lowest, you may still get flooding runoff from up higher, the lots coming down. I
Sure,
don't know
that
how
part,
much it'll
yeah, that
flood.
part I understand, because we are the lowest house there, so the 3 or 4 neighbors around us, that water that's in their yard would probably drain down into our yard, but right now, we're getting the whole subdivision.
And you're getting
up in our
the
yard.
runoff from the ditches, 2 ditches actually.
2 ditches, yeah, so I mean, I understand that it won't solve the water problem 100%.
But it should help it.
Yeah, so I mean, we might get 2-3 inches of water
But you
back
keep
there.
that little shed above the water.
It can build the thing up.
Yeah, we have to raise it. And that's what I wanted to tell you when you were out there, when you correct me and say the town was there doing a visual, where you said, where you see the erosion and the roots of the tree exposed, that happens in 3 places now. Now, it was 1 place, then it went to 2 places, now it's in 3 places, so that water is coming at such a rate that is just, like, I don't know what you call that hill past the ditch, like on our, at the road.
That's actually just the backside of the ditch.
backside.
The backside,
That's the
Yeah, it
now
runs
that has washed away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Ron had asked me not to clean out the culvert, he wanted to see the sediment or whatever.
See how fast that thing would fill up,
Fill.
because she cleans ours out regularly.
And it's probably like
Yeah, they-
that much full of dirt right now, so it's really eroding.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty evident that it's been silting in for many, many years, so. I guess, like you said, your next step is shoot elevations.
Yeah,
And
we
then,
need,
you know,
we
get a plan on
gotta
what
get
needs
out
to
there
be
and
done.
do a little legwork.
Okay.
I think what I'll do is, if John and whoever he picks it to, and then I may go out there and hold a stick for him, just to see myself what's going
Right.
on. That's kinda nice for me, I spent 40 years in the trades, and I don't mind getting out in the
There you go.
field.
There you go.
Yeah.
What, you gonna look through it, or you gonna hold the stick?
I'll hold a stick.
There you go.
You yell the dimensions.
He was
Yeah.
gonna bring one out to the,
Yeah, I thought about bringing one out and shooting some myself, but you guys got probably a lot better stuff than I would get. So I personally don't have anything. Does anybody else that's part of this have anything to say?
How long before the hearing?
Well, we wouldn't actually be out there doing any work. Probably, I gotta talk to John tomorrow's Friday, we'll probably be shooting grades out there next week.
Oh.
If you see us out there, I've got that green Chevy Blazer, if you see my truck out there,
Doesn't brush
you know, we don't mind you coming out.
John doesn't do that.
And I asked a question, when you fished the last time, you did stuff to my culvert, you went 3 feet past it, and that was it. You left the other yard high. I got only about that much of my culvert sticking above the ground, above the water. Because of that ditch, you didn't finish it off, down to the corner.
Yeah, and where are you?
What's your
Larry Wolf,
and what's your name, sir?
Your last name?
Kepso.
Kepsel.
They only went about that far past my culvert.
And what's your address?
You're right next to the Wolf property? So obviously to the north,
To the east.
to the east, okay.
To the east
So
on the
everything
north
that comes
side.
down
So which
from the
property on the map
east
is he?
stops in my yard.
East to the east, so,
From my house to the north, one house east.
Right.
You need longer arms.
Yeah.
and here's this is the Wolf
Yeah.
Tax
property.
parcel
That's it
941
to the
probably.
east, so he's here,
Right
right
here.
here, yep. And just so we did receive 5 complaints, and the board has all 5 of those complaints, just so the residents know. If you filed a complaint, the board has all those complaints in their
We've
packet.
got all the pictures.
I was just reading them.
No, the written complaints,
Unfortunately, we have a policy that, phone complaints are not recorded, the written complaints do a lot more good because we've got a regular form for that. So if you made a phone complaint, okay, we would like for you to get on a record and do a written complaint, please. We can do more with a written complaint.
You want pictures attached to the complaint?
If you have pictures, that's
we'd like a
fine.
movie.
I think I have one, and it was
That's
rolling.
fine. You know, we're not trying,
You're not disputing the
you
law.
know, we're not telling you there's no problem
Yeah.
out there. We're trying to figure out what's gonna be the cost-effective way for the rest of the taxpayers in the town and do it
Solve the problem.
cost-effective and solve your problem.
And we appreciate that.
And if I'm not gonna tell you it's gonna be 100% taken care of, we're gonna do it across the board and this and that, I'm not telling you that, cause I don't work that way.
No, but if it was 2 feet of water and now it's like 3 inches, I'd be pretty happy that it was in my yard. I'd be very happy. I was getting a little worried about it going over the top of my,
Into our house.
my vent
Yeah.
of my septic.
And I can understand that. Like I said,
Get a little
I've
right.
got, I live over on Skyline, and I'm at the top of the hill, and I've got one little low spot there. And I never seen, in the 30 years that I've lived there, never seen water in there, and there was water in there, and it was built up to the point where it was running out and going down the hill.
Was that when we had the
Yeah.
frost in the ground and that
Frost in the
rainstorm?
ground and the heavy
February
rains.
20th.
Yeah.
But I think this is getting a little bit in excess. I mean, when we have 3 waterfalls in our yard, where you see like 3 waterfalls in your yard. So.
Well, I'm pretty happy
Does that have
with,
anything?
I mean, so the way you're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
shoot elevations, that'd be great. Is that gonna be open records? I'd be kinda curious to see.
Is that what?
When you shoot the elevations and you got a top.
Yeah, that'll
little
become
map,
a town record.
That'll become a town.
That's all
record, something
public.
to get a hold of.
All
Yeah.
public record.
Yeah, I'd be
That's
interested
no problem.
to look at that.
We don't hide nothing. What it is, it is. How you gonna hide that?
Yeah, somebody-
You can't.
Jim Poe has a question.
I just have one question,
Sure.
on the elevations that you're gonna shoot. Do you have any idea how far down Martith you're gonna go with the shooting your elevations? I'm one house to the south of the Gross Craigs there.
On the same side.
And I noticed when you look at the ditch line.
back, right?
Pardon?
He's trying to,
King coming all the way down the Meredith or what's?
so he's in a different
Right on
direction.
Martith. It's so like a horseshoe, it comes in on
He's next to us.
the south.
We
end
probably
and
won't
comes
go
out.
any farther than, the south end before it turns.
That's where they did it last time, in that corner. Oh.
The south end of Martith Avenue, where the first curve is, you're saying from that point?
All the way
Is it
north.
farther
North.
South you go?
North.
From there.
Meredith runs north and south, correct?
Yes.
Right.
well, kind of east west, whatever, it's been working.
Mr. Poe, are you right next door to the gross crates?
Yeah.
Okay,
Same side of the road, one house
okay.
south.
Yeah, we'll probably go far enough south
I-
to figure out where the high
Where
point.
the high point is.
And it's supposed to go out the other way towards
Okay,
164.
that's what I was asking, because when you look at the ditch line, it's all different elevations. Until you shoot your line, you don't know how far
Yeah,
down.
we should be able to
I mean,
determine
I just colored
which
it.
water's supposed to go,
Okay.
how they,
Okay, I want you to see
which
that.
way it's supposed to flow.
And show your neighbors.
Anyone here who's on King Street or
I'm on King and Martin.
King, you're on the corner?
I'm on the corner. I have
Is any
pictures.
water getting back on, King Street or no?
On the corner there, it was flooding over. The culvert had basically failed. So that was all flooded from the corner of Martin back on King. The rest of King looked pretty good when I walked, but that area was really bad. That's, as she said, it's my water causing a lot of problems.
So how far down King is it going to the south? Did you say?
Probably makes it, we have two driveways too, we're on the corner, so we have a driveway on Martin and a driveway on King. So it makes it back to the other side of our other driveway. So in front of, Early, Marges, and I don't know the last name. Rhodey's.
Yeah, Earl and Marge, sure.
But see too, on the, like, I don't know, I know like on the Tim property, you know, and the Jacoby property, so they're right behind us, but right around King. If those were ditched too, that runoff from the road would go in those ditches instead of their yard to our yard. You know, so if there was some, and the conveyance, if it was all the way, you know, that whole, I don't know
Well,
if you want to call it
Mary Jo, they
subdivision.
were
like
saying they're
community.
gonna shoot all of
Yeah.
King Street, all of Merritt, well, all of Martin and Meredith, at least up to the high point past the pole. So if that,
Yeah.
they're gonna shoot those elevations anyway.
Right.
And
But
I
the
wanna take that
conveyance
out
of the
to,
water
I wanna
in the
take that
ditches,
out
not
to
from a
one
yard.
sixty-four.
Take it all the way out to 164.
And I want, we need to shoot those catch basins what they're at.
And that's without talking to any engineer, that's
Correct.
John kind of
Well,
speculating.
That's, to me, makes most sense. I mean, that's where the problem is. I mean, it's pretty self-evident. If you were out there, you can see it. It's not like it's something that's not.
It's hiding in plain sight.
Yes, it is. Yes.
The water tells the story. Now, when we had the rain over the weekend and Monday and Sunday, did you have any, was there any water running in any of those ditches?
Yeah, water in our ditches.
Yeah,
Water in our
and
ditches.
standing water.
East to west on
Yeah.
No flooding, no?
No, this is rocky down here. I mean, it leaches into the ground
Yeah.
fast. when
They're
there's no
basically the same thing as the gravel pit?
flood. Yeah.
East of you there, you
Yeah,
get
if the water
down.
leaches, in summertime, it leaches out fast. I mean, you get a big, heavy thunderstorms, tons of rain, those ditches will fill
And
completely
go
up
over.
and go over and run back into the yard, but in summertime, like I said, it leaches away, you know, in a hurry, just because
Mhm.
it can, it's not frozen ground. It's the frozen ground that really kills us. So,
All right, okay. Supervisors, have any questions for them?
Mary Jo, take this too. This is,
Now we
a-
just gotta get those elevations.
this is like, it's got the topos, it's got some from the 70s on it. But at least you're looking at least you can show the
And I have
game.
one other thing. It is my birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Hey, that's on record. That's on record for the town hall monitor. We wish you a happy
Just a
birthday.
bill, right?
Yeah, we go.
Oh, on town record. How old are you? Oh, you may have
We have a comedian here.
35 and whole.
There you go.
Oh, okay. All right. Anything else supervised on that issue on Martin Street? No? All right. Item C, Eddie, I wanted to leave that on there, I wanted to hear what you had, and we don't have any yet, Madam Clerk?
No
Any?
formal complaints.
Nor formal complaints.
Then I'm gonna pass until we get a formal complaint. He was in here, we explained it to him, but there are statutes that'll help us deal with it. We have some ordinances that do prevent the noise issue, so we can look at some of that as well. I mean, there's things we can look at and do, but until he files a formal complaint,
That's our policy, that's the
Right.
practice, we're gonna let it go, okay?
Okay.
I'll bring it back at such time as it's needed.
He'll be back.
Who you call him?
No, I did talk to Mr. Klatt, so he's in the process of getting all the people that complain the forms and have them fill up.
Sounds good.
All right.
Can I
Okay,
show you guys
so,
something once real quick here, or one of you guys? There's also a block culvert here.
Where?
I think I saw that one, yeah.
Okay.
So my
Where-
question
where is it?
According to Sue.
Ron, where's the block? Show me the block. You got all my maps.
No, I got
But I
all
want
the
you
maps.
to,
So the other block driveway, block culvert is right here.
perfect, got it. Thanks, Ron.
That's the corner of King and Martin.
Is this King here?
This is, oops, sorry, this is Martin
Oh, okay.
and King. So this is the Jacoby house. And then, Terry's place. So, and that is ditched, but it was all the way up to the pond.
So I'm wondering where this back and
It goes, we have another driveway on that side, and it goes up through his culvert, and it's backed up there, yes.
Thanks.
Mhm.
Appreciate it.
Can I back up a sec, just in case anybody's interested? We have a state statute, 66.0409. It's called Local Regulations of Weapons, and it goes through a lot of options. We could actually call that a target range. Block. So there's a way around
okay. But we need the formal complaints.
that. Just waiting for the complaint, but I thought I'd share the statute in case somebody wants to take a look at that.
Did you try, calling? Or no, Madam Clerk said that,
I left
in
a
the
message
process.
for our sheriff to find out if that was,
Thank you for
They're done
coming.
with our business. Thank you.
Bye, happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
You're 21, have a beer.
Hey, you're legal now.
Ed, what was that statute?
I left a lady that comes in the evening, she was on, I left a message, she was on vacation. She was gonna call me back. I wanted to find out, how many complaints she knew of, if anything recent, and then talk to her about why she can't use some of the noise complaints and things like that to go on the property. So it seemed to me there were some of the things in our ordinances that could have been used, but I know we gave the police a copy of the ordinances that we wanted enforced or followed. I don't know if that was one of them. The noise ordinance.
I don't know either.
So that's what I was gonna ask her, but she hasn't called back yet, so I haven't, I'll get to her. LeSueur? That was her name.
Oh, Captain LeSueur?
LeSueur,
Yep.
the one that comes here.
Okay.
That's whose name I remembered, so I left a message for her.
Ed, what was that statute, 66?
Yeah, the statute number is, look it out again, 66.0409. It's a big one.
Is that it, Supervisor?
That's it, that's all I have.
Okay. Item D, authorize the transfer of $3,675 from the Park Impact account to the Town of Vernon General Fund.
So moved.
Yeah, we talked about this, I
Yep.
seconded.
Yep.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Who do you want to move it? The treasurer or the clerk? It doesn't matter to me.
I'll make a motion to have the clerk move it.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Good point, Madam Clerk. Bartender's license.
Mr. Chairman and town board members, everything is all in order for each, all three of these bartender license. All fees have been paid, background checks are done. The ones that you don't see, the renewals, you won't see a certificate of, because it's just a renewal. But everything's in order, there's not any issues with these licenses, they're all ready for your approval.
I'll
Do we
make
do
a
them all
motion.
together, or we have to do one at a time?
I'm gonna do them all together. I'll make a motion for bartender's license for Alexander Clemens, Rebecca Ruffalo, and McKenna Millies.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
I'll abstain from voting.
Oh, come on.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
I just
Make a
had
note that Jeff opposed, so I don't know.
I had a question, Karen, is this Wisconsin seller slash server certification, is that required now for liquor license?
For new, not for renewals. If someone has an active liquor license, or if it's lapsed, you know, a little bit of time, their server's certificate is valid.
Okay,
So the only time you'll see it included is if it's a new bartender.
but that's a pretty new regulation, isn't it?
Oh, that's been in place for years,
really?
yes.
Okay.
Okay. Item F. Appointments to the Vernon boards, committees, and commissions. This is a yearly, thing that we need to do. This is more housekeeping issues. And I'm gonna read these all, and if somebody has a comment, please say so. It's appointment to the Vernon boards and committees. Plan Commission, I'm gonna appoint Bill Craig and Jeff Millies. Board of Appeals is Dan Nowak, Jamie Schleichman for 2-year term. Finance Committee, Tom Tomasak and Ed Hall, 2-year term. Fire Commission, Tom Tomasak, 5-year term. DPW Committee, Ed Moline, Bill
Paraguay.
Paraguay, 2-year term. Public Health and Safety Committee, Gary Wiley, Char Graham's 2-year terms. Ordinance Committee, Steve Kimbridge and Jesse Smith, 2-year term. Weed Commissioner, John Kabaki, 3 years. Park and Recreation Committee, Jeff Millies, 2-year term. Water Monitoring Committee, Tom Byrne and Brian Schultz, 2-year term. Personnel Committee, Mike Gambras, Jeff Millies, and Keith Grahams, 2-year term. Southeast Wisconsin Fox River Commission, Robert Bartholomew, Lee Manthe, 2-year term. School Board Liaison, Sandy Williams, a 2-year term. I'll make a motion to appoint all those people. Is
Just
there a
one
second?
question, has everybody been contacted to see that they're willing and able?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay,
Is that a second?
that's a second.
A second. Been moved and seconded?
I have a question. With, Gary Wiley and Bill Craig, do we wanna have their terms expire in correlation with their, election year?
Yeah.
So like you're appointing Gary for a 2-year term, if he doesn't run next year, he's off the
You can
board.
still serve on the committee.
Like usually the new supervisor takes over. I don't know, I was just wondering if you wanted to consider that, or it doesn't matter.
Probably
but-
slide down to the opening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since there's an opening, right now, we're trying to encourage somebody to run, to go for the board, but no luck so far.
well, then,
Huh?
Which committee? DPW?
No, the public health and safety.
And Bill Craig and the personnel, I think for 2 years too.
Well, he's kinda shaky anyway.
we did that on Plan Commission. Remember, you changed it because of the term
The
on the
15th.
first one.
Yeah, not the year, the date.
The date.
Right,
Yeah, everybody else is the 30th, Plan Commission is the 15th because of,
yeah, but on all the rest of it, it's still at the 30th, so.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you wanted to consider.
Well, that's because
changing
those
that
two are
to-
the only two supervisors in one group, right? Otherwise, a supervisor and other personnel mixed together, so you can't really change the date unless you put them separate.
yeah.
So it's- I don't see a problem with it, so.
All right, been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Authorize town chairman to sign a quote from Miller Electric Enterprise for the Vernon Fire Department. That was for that $500 to put the work, one outlet outside the panel, one above the top shelf unit, and one left of the existing outlet. and that's for $500.
I'll make that motion. We'll approve it and allow you to sign that,
All right.
I'll second.
and hopefully not have any problem getting in this thing.
It's been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, sir.
Correspondence. All right, announcements and reports, all in one. I have nothing.
I also have no.
I just have one item. I had contact with a resident regarding a zoning violation, and I was over there to the house and talked to the gentleman, and he felt that there was nothing happening, and it's still an active violation. I have to talk to Vince and find out what's the procedure? How long do you give somebody with our new zoning violations, how long does Vince give them? Because they said they got a letter, they haven't done nothing, they did a little bit of something, but there's a whole still big mess there.
The sheriff's department was called.
Pardon?
The sheriff's department was called on our 2 outstanding zoning violations.
Yeah?
When Vince gets back, we have letters ready that they have 15 days to comply, and if they don't comply, they'll be cited daily.
Okay, how long is that procedure from initially when they send the first letter to a next check?
It's usually a month.
A month? Okay.
But
I think it's been longer than a month, because people said that a significant amount of time has passed and nothing's happened.
Well, he normally puts them on with the date.
They're
the
on
board.
there.
You can see the initial.
I'll have to talk to Vince.
contact.
He's on vacation. We have the letters ready, but he wanted to be here because once they get cited with a letter that they're gonna get cited with,
Then it goes real.
well, they're gonna be upset.
intense. Okay, that's all I had, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Okay. Eddie?
I have nothing.
Bill? Sheriff's not here. Madam Clerk?
Nothing?
No treasurer. Finances? Accounts payable?
Are we adding the manual checks onto this?
No, yeah, APs are,
Is that
yep.
separate? In that case, if you got questions?
No, I'm gonna make a motion.
Go ahead. I'll let you.
I move that we approve, batch 2098 or 18 is it?
1-8, right?
Okay, 2018-0517, in the amount of $60,994.21.
The only question I had, I'll wait for more than a second to that, to talk.
Well, I thought you did that.
Okay, I'll second it. And the only question I had was, there was a fire department bill in there, and it didn't have any receipt or anything for it. You had made a comment in regard to the bill, Karen, it was for like $400 and some dollars.
It was $221.
Yeah.
And he said that, and just so you know, I open all my correspondence from the fire department in front of my staff. He did email it after the fact.
Okay.
That was the one that I asked him about tax, and he said, what tax? Remember, you saw that one.
Well, okay, I was just wondering, it was in the packet, and I was checking to see, why there wasn't a receipt for it.
Capital One thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, other than that, that's the only question I had.
Okay. Been moved and seconded. Did we vote on it?
No, not yet.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Manual checks, we have one
We have
for the newsletter
And one for Capital One.
and one for Capital One. Newsletter postage, Capital One. One is for newsletters for $705.84, and Capital One is for $133.39.
I'll make a motion to approve. total of $839.23.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. You need this paperwork back.
Thank you, sir.
All right. ACH.
I'll make a motion to approve the ACH for April 2017 in the amount of $92,281.43.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Accounts receivable aging, any comments?
How are we standing on those two, Karen, in regard to those aging reports?
One paid it by credit card the morning after the court date. He went to court, he had the wrong date. And this, he wrote letters, he's got letters to his client, and his client was supposed to pay the bill. Nevertheless, the bill's been paid online.
Does he have to absorb the court costs? And
Yes.
Everything, he had
Oh, yeah.
stuck for,
Yes.
what, by
When it
being
goes to
one day
court,
tardy, huh?
They pay it all.
So is that Wilcox, or
No,
that's
he-
the one that didn't pay?
That's the one, and that's the one I thought for sure, because that one had the police report.
Yeah.
We haven't heard anything back from that yet, but I'm sure.
Was he called to court at this point in time? I mean, a subpoena put out, or?
The court will send paperwork based on, what the findings were, but I know the town won both of them.
They both filed at the same time? No.
Yes,
Yes?
yes,
And one got settled and one's still hanging out there?
yes.
Any idea why one?
What's that, what did that end up costing, that extra? How much charges are involved? I know we'd seen a bill,
Over like $130.
and then the
Above
service
and-
fee?
Yeah, that's above and beyond what they actually owed.
Like double. Yeah, well,
Just for being stubborn.
well, they did it.
Yeah.
How about these other three that are over 90? What do we do, have we done anything with those other than
The
send a
one-
letter? Or?
Well, the Rev Sports, you wanted to wait to see if he was going to go in the Millbrook. The Scafidi, you asked me to write a letter to get it, the property cleaned up, which we did. Trying to think of the other older one.
Third one was Morningstar. And that
Oh,
one we said we wait.
That's not, that'll be paid by June, because he doesn't get his liquor license without them.
Okay. The other one's been on there for that Tim Huff for the recycling. You think?
If he doesn't pay it, that'll be put on his,
Tax?
yeah. But there'll be an administrative cost, because we've been mailing him an invoice.
Yeah.
Okay, so it'll be the refuge fee plus.
Right, the administrative costs.
It's
It's getting down there.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, a couple
No.
more months and.
No, Howard just likes,
Karen Chew, the hound dog.
he just,
Keep
With a bone.
Chewing on you.
the auditor just wants you to see that once a month. He wants you to see the aging accounts.
I do too, that's kind of good
Does
to
he
see.
want that signed there?
No, he doesn't. Nope, he just wants to make sure that he sees it in your packet.
Okay.
So you're informed
fine.
board.
We approved that?
It's interesting to see how it's.
Well, everybody's informed on what's going on with that, you know?
Yeah.
And we can talk about it because it's on the agenda, so.
We got any feedback on that one? We were trying to get a little help on because it seemed like he got kind of screwed over on the deal.
That's the one, that he was looking at the, place to buy. He hasn't come in yet.
No, he's he's trying to get finance. He wants to buy the property on Oakdale and National.
Oh. Ours old,
Yeah.
cabinet shop or
Yep.
whatever it was.
Yeah, the Millbrook,
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
April financials. Any comments, questions?
I just had one. the fire department, on the fire EMT training seminars, they're already $1,800 over budget.
Yeah. That's
And-
federal money they had, right?
Pardon?
Was that the federal money?
I don't know, it's training, so we allowed $7,000 in the budget, and they spent $8,800, so they can't go anywhere or do anything else for the remainder of the year.
I was
Unless
gonna
you
call it
want
out.
to pay some money from someplace else. I just noticed that one, that was the one that was way out of kilter. But I might have to, if I have a serious problem with that, I'll have
He
to talk
loves
to
to
Alex.
hear from you guys.
Huh?
He loves to hear from you
Oh, I
guys.
bet he
Yeah.
does, yeah.
He does.
He likes to talk.
Would you like me to call him and let him know we're sending an electrician down there? Little heads up.
And the guy's coming in a bulletproof suit.
If you want to.
With
I think I will.
a sawed-off 12 gauge.
Karen, I have a couple, if you've got a moment on this fire, because I have a lot of yellow marks in it.
Yeah.
We should be at 33 1/3% at this point in time. Anything over that's kind of a,
41.
but I think some of this is like one-time shots.
Are they,
Insurance, things like that.
are you revenue or expenditures?
I'm on, make sure I'm on revenue and expenses, it says. Other expenditures, these are expenses.
Okay,
So that'd be sheet number 7.
yep,
And 3 down, 87.17 workers' comp. They can't do anything about that, right?
nope,
9905 for insurance. That's, we paid up early now, or?
yes,
The line
yes.
right below it.
Mm-hmm,
So that expenditure's gone.
yeah, they're not,
Same with, fire code subscription, 9212.
fire
Yeah,
code,
spent something there,
oh, subscription,
Oh, that's why.
yeah,
Okay. Then we have, like you said, EMT, they're way over, 125 already. Going down, we had EMS supplies at 4379 already. That's not like it'd be straight across.
yeah.
Yeah, but-
Computer supplies, 50.1, and they gotta replace all that stuff they were talking about, hopefully this year in his budget, he said.
That's one thing I want, these questions, I gotta ask Alex.
I meant to call him, I just.
Well, I looked at the supplies
Yeah.
that they bought like, latex-free gloves, $159, and they bought 2 days.
Well, what was the back order? If you look at the same one I was, I looked at that twice.
You look at that, see how many times they buy gloves. I mean, I know they.
2,000.
They go through a
I
hell of
know.
a lot of gloves, you know.
I think everybody on the ambulance crew has to wear them.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how many, and I.
They go through an awful lot of them.
They do,
You know.
and they're not that much. I 118 bucks or something for that 2,000 run.
No, for a box of 100 is like $159.
It was 100
What's $1.60 a pair?
boxes of 10, I thought it said. Where is that?
Yeah, well, they go through an awful lot.
There was a lot of them, yeah, there was a lot of them.
I know it's nitpicky.
That one jumped out too.
Yeah.
But his total, according to this, he's running 46.35, so he's got some catching up to do here. Which means he's probably gonna end up moving some money around somewhere, I'd imagine.
he really can't move.
You don't move money around.
Not without us telling them.
We want, they used to do that at the fire department.
They used to be able to do anything under there for $1,000, which is a soap problem, if you remember. So now they're not allowed to move anything on a line item without talking to us. Beforehand?
No,
You need-
because how do you make a budget?
Yeah.
If
Well-
they move money around to make them look good, how do you make the budget for next year? That's all baloney.
Yeah.
We want that as true as can be.
Yeah.
I would vote, no,
No.
you don't move anything
Nope.
in any department, period. The budget's the budget, you don't move a line. If we didn't do the budget right, well, then that's our problem.
Yeah.
And then next year you hopefully get better.
Okay, just checking. We don't even want to go in the parking lot, do we?
I'll look into that one account. Sometimes, it's, I know they have a lot of new EMTs. So,
You mean that training and
Yeah.
seminar thing? Yeah.
I think there's at least 9 brand new.
Wow.
Yeah,
He's gonna end up having to come to us then, because
For people.
he's gonna need, he needs more money in that.
He's trying to jack up his people too. I had one thing on Park and Rec, if I can. I had asked Mark at the Lions Club last meeting, which was last Monday, if he had been contacted by our Park and Rec director yet. Because I talked to our director and said, you know, give him a call. Last year they gave you money, I'm sure he'd be happy to do it again, but you gotta come and make a pitch. Well, he contacted Mark for his business, which is the barbecue. He didn't ask him at all about the Lions yet. And I said, Mark, you sure he wasn't, you know, pitching both at the same, no, it's my business. So he let me know if he calls you. I gotta call him and tell him he's gotta look at this stuff. I mean, that's where the money's at. And with the rain he's having, rain out games and stuff, he's gonna fall short this year.
I know we just got a donation from Edgewood Greenhouse and Quick Trip.
He did.
I think,
He just contacted me.
Did he? Did he? Okay.
does he
What's
know,
that? Yeah.
does he know
Sounds
Mark
like it's gonna
Anderson
be-
is the president of the Lions Club?
What's that?
Does Mike know that Mark Anderson is the
Yeah,
president?
I gave him the phone number, Mark's
Okay.
address, the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
Quite some time ago. So, I have a question, is the rain out games, do we still get paid for those, or do they get refunded?
No, there's no refunds.
Okay, so he still makes the money.
You gotta
on those.
reschedule them to get more.
They'll do the best they can,
Yeah.
right? Long season, okay.
Yeah.
So long as we're not losing revenue, because I know it's been rough on them with the rain and all that.
And we should state, he is having a real hard time getting people to coach. He's got
I
teams,
saw that.
really hard time. He's been calling and emailing, and so,
You should call the YMCA or one of those, they hire their coach, I don't know what they pay. They may pay more than we do.
we
But
don't, yeah.
when my grandson was in there, they had no problem getting coaches. So they have a list, I'm sure they could help you.
Well, coaches only, they don't get paid, but their kids get free.
Refs get paid,
Yeah.
coaches don't.
Yeah.
Good luck. Sorry. Thought I was helping.
Trying to keep the cost down for the people.
Yeah.
It's a volunteer.
Yep. That's all I had.
All right. Minutes. May 3rd.
Bottom of the first page, delineation of the property on, should that be both Prairie Side and Hillview Farm?
I gotta get to my min.
Couldn't find my copy of that map, but
It's National and Hillview. It wasn't, Prairie Side is at the end of the cul-de-sac. The other one is on, it's really on Hillview. It's not on National, but it's,
as this says, regarding the request for wetland delineation of property on Prairie Side.
it should, yeah, it should, instead of National, it should say Prairie Side.
Okay.
Yeah, it does.
But in the minute, I see, in the minutes, it does, it says Hillview and National. You're right, Bill, that should say Prairie Side.
Is there a motion?
I move we accept the minutes of May 3rd.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. May 9th minutes. This was a plan commission, then to a town board.
Type on
Nothing?
that. How about you?
Okay, looks good.
Based on that, I'll make a motion to approve the May 9th minutes.
Second. minutes are getting better and
Yeah.
better.
Thanks, guys.
I still have to look at Bill to make sure.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
I don't want to miss it.
Next meeting date will be June 7th. That'll be after Memorial Day,
Yep. Oh, we forgot to wish everybody a happy Memorial
6
Day.
PM. And don't forget the staff meeting, May 24th
Yeah,
at 1 PM.
1 PM here.
Okay, yep.
And
Public,
board review, when was that?
The 29th at 6 o'clock. And we probably should state if, we had open book, just so you know, we only had 4 people come in for open book. But if anybody has any issues, they gotta get a hold of the assessor before Board of Review. Not that they have to, but it's highly, highly, highly recommended.
Yeah.
But we gotta sit here anyway, right?
Yes,
For 2 hours?
3 hours,
The
And you
29th.
can't even play cards.
2 hours,
Yeah,
yeah.
6 to 8.
No, you're gonna be studying.
You gotta review all this stuff.
Yes.
Ah,
Read all that,
yeah.
the attorney's notes. I move we adjourn.
public comments. Any public comments?
Joel?
Any public comments?
They all left.
Yeah.
No public comments? Any made a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned at